Welcome to TEFAF 2014, the fair, the world-renowned fair that my dad was a founder member of in 1975. That's when we started with Pictura, only paintings and some sculpture. International fair in Maastricht at the time. It was a biannual fair, and we did that in '77. And in '79, the antique dealers thought, why can't we do something similar? So they started their own fair, Antiqua. And 2 years later, in '81, Pictura and Antiqua got together. And that really is, let's say, the start of the present TEFAF. The TEFAF fair consists of about 260 participants. It is beautifully built. It is an amazing display of all the disciplines that you can find worldwide in art. We are very proud that we are able to participate in this particular one again. There are stringent vetting rules. There are about 200 people who vet in the different disciplines, making sure that at least collectors, the public, have a safe way of making choices in every direction. Talking about vetting, behind me is a very unique wall of Rembrandt prints. Certainly at TEFAF we have to make sure that only lifetime impressions are being shown. It is very difficult to find lifetime impressions worldwide. There may be thousands of Rembrandt around, but only, let's say, a small percentage of that can be shown at TEFAF, because that is the real McCoy. That's the real Rembrandt done in his lifetime. TEFAF is a wonderful fair to show a large variety. We show 5 centuries of paintings. We also have, let's say, modern sculpture by one of the best sculpturists in Holland, Eric Claus, which is actually standing underneath an amazing painting by Ozias Beard. We're talking about Flemish school around 1610. If you look at that painting, it's almost modern art. If you look at the colors, it has been preserved in such a wonderful way. This also should be probably bought by a collector or a museum, and has a wonderful antique frame around it. Here we see a wonderful painting that really sums up and shows the 80 years war that Holland was in up to 1648. And another thing that may be very important is the difference in price, because here we talk about an important winter scene by Jan van Goyen, done in 1647. And of course, you know, this is, let's say, the pride and joy within any collection. But you talk about, let's say, prices that may exceed 200,000 euro. And underneath, all of a sudden, you find this lovely, very intimate genre piece. And if you look at the faces here, and the color, the dress code that she had, and specifically, let's say, the couple in the background, where the man is smoking this well-known Gouda pipe, but the lady is holding the glass the way you should actually hold a glass. Now that is something you will never see in paintings, or hardly, I should say. But a painting like this is only a tenth of the painting above it, the Jan van Goyen. So that variety, of course, is very important to also try and have beginning collectors to start with a low price painting with the same quality as something that may be 10 times that particular price. And here I'm actually standing in front of one of the amazing paintings by Jacob van Ruysdael. Jacob van Ruysdael, of course, was the, let's say, most well-known landscape painter we've had in Holland, a very monumental painter as well. But if you look at this particular painting and you look at the color scheme, you can actually determine almost where this has been painted. We have in the eastern part of Holland a region called Twente, and that is exactly where you have these beautifully sort of quiet type of rivers, and that particular quietness you can see in the trees, you will see in the lighting, you know, going across some beautiful sunshine sort of just touching the shoreline. Here you can see someone who's actually sort of herding the sheep, but a very fresh type of painting. You know, this is about 380 years old, well preserved, and again would be a wonderful painting for a good collection. So here we have a beautiful painting by Matthijs Maris. Matthijs Maris was a very unusual artist. You could call him the Rembrandt of the 19th century. Van Gogh was very much influenced also by Matthijs Maris. And TEFAF again is a platform where you can show discoveries. This has been in a private collection for over 80 years. Nobody knew where the painting was. And at some point they asked me to come and make a valuation, and I was able to determine that, of course, this is a wonderful quality painting by Matthijs Maris, A View of Lausanne. And at the start, at the opening day of TEFAF, this painting was sold to the Gemeentemuseum, the municipal museum in The Hague. That is sort of amongst the top 3 museums in Holland. They were incredibly happy because for a long time they've been trying to find this particular painting. So the painting, when I saw that hanging in a very dark hallway, was dirty. It had a yellow varnish. It was in a very difficult sort of dark frame, and I was able to clean it in our restoration department in Amsterdam. We reframed the painting. We hung it also in such a way, you know, that it is sort of completely loose, sort of off the frame, which also gives it a more symbolistic and a more dreamy-like idea. I think that the owners, the previous owners of this painting, have never seen the painting like this before. Now it will be on display, public display in the museum in The Hague, and we are incredibly happy that this particular painting is saved for the Dutch nation.